Think back to a single summer when you were a kid. It went on forever, didn't it? One summer holiday felt like a whole separate lifetime. You got bored, you lost track of the days. August felt impossibly far from June. Now think about last year. The whole thing. 12 months. It's gone. You can barely remember it. It slipped past like a single long weekend. Most people assume the reason is obvious. You're just busier now, you've got more on your mind, but that's not quite right. And the real reason is much stranger than being busy. Because time isn't speeding up. Your brain is. And without you noticing, it's quietly editing your life down to almost nothing. Here's what's actually happening. And the strange part is, once you understand it, you can slow it back down. Let's start with the simplest explanation, because it's also the easiest to feel. When you're 5 years old, 1 year is a fifth of your entire life. It's a huge slice, an enormous, unmissable chunk of everything you've ever known. When you're 50, 1 year is a 50th of your life. The same 365 days, the same number of sunrises. But measured against everything you've already lived, it's a tiny sliver. Think of it like a single drop of food coloring. Drop it into a small glass and the whole glass turns. Drop the exact same amount into a swimming pool and you'd never even notice. The drop didn't change. The pool got bigger. That's your life. Every year you add, the next year becomes a smaller fraction of the whole, so it feels smaller. Researchers sometimes call this log time, the idea that we judge time by comparison, not by the clock. Each new year feels shorter because it's measured against a longer and longer past. It's a clean, satisfying answer. And for a long time, people thought that was the whole story. But it isn't. Because the proportion idea explains the slow drift across decades, it can't explain why this specific year vanished. And the answer to that lives inside your own head, in something far weirder. To understand it, you have to know how your brain actually measures time. And it does not do it the way you think. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your brain has no clock. It can't feel seconds ticking. The only way it knows how much time has passed is by counting memories, the little snapshots it filed away while the time was passing. A physicist at Duke University named Adrian Bejan describes it almost like a flipbook. When you're young, your brain is firing off snapshots constantly. Everything is new, so everything gets recorded. A huge stack of mental images for every single day. As you get older, your brain processes those images more slowly, and it takes far fewer of them. Fewer pictures in the flipbook, so when you flick back through a year, there's barely anything there. And a thin flipbook flicks to the end in a second. That's why a packed 2-week holiday can feel longer in your memory than 6 months of ordinary life. The holiday is stuffed with new snapshots. The 6 months of routine is almost blank. And there's hard evidence for this. In one study, researchers split 138 people into age groups and showed them 2 videos of the exact same length. One full of events, one empty and dull. The youngest children felt the eventful video was longer. Their brains were counting moments, not minutes. So time isn't passing faster, your brain is just taking fewer photographs of it. The year felt short because you barely recorded it, which forces an uncomfortable question. Why did you stop recording? And the answer to that is the part that should genuinely unsettle you, because it isn't about your age at all. Your brain only files a memory when something is new. When you encounter something unfamiliar, a little surge of attention fires off and flags the moment. Keep this one. That's why your first day at a new school, your first kiss, your first time in a new city, all of it is burned in. Your brain decided those moments mattered enough to save. Kids live in a world of firsts. Everything is unfamiliar, so they're throwing up those flags all day long. A single afternoon becomes a dozen distinct chapters. But as an adult, you drive the same route. You see the same walls. You scroll the same feed. You have the same Tuesday you had last Tuesday. And your brain, being efficient, stops bothering to record any of it. Why save another copy of something it's already filed 1,000 times? So your days stop becoming memories. They blur into one repeating template. A whole week collapses into work, sleep, scroll, repeat, and reads back as a single short story instead of 7 separate days. This is the real reason. Not that time got faster, not even just that you got older. It's that you stopped noticing. Your life kept happening, but you weren't filing it. You were on autopilot. And here's the uncomfortable part. If your brain only records the new and your days have stopped being new, then in a very real sense, the years aren't disappearing. You are. You're sleeping through them with your eyes open. But that same fact, that your brain only records what's new, is also exactly how you slow time back down. And it's free. If routine is what erases time, then novelty is what brings it back. You don't have to quit your job or fly across the world. The brain doesn't need big new things. It needs enough new things to start flagging your days again. Take a different route home and actually look at it. Learn one chord on an instrument. Try a food you've never had. Talk to someone you'd normally walk past. Go somewhere in your own city you've never been. But the real key isn't just doing new things, it's paying attention while you do them. Notice 5 things on your walk you've never clocked before. The mural, the bird call, the smell from the bakery vent. Every one of those is a snapshot your brain decides to keep. Do that and something strange happens. The week stops collapsing. It fills back out. The same 7 days that used to vanish start to feel long again. Not because you added more hours, but because you finally recorded the ones you had. The people who keep doing this, who stay curious, who keep learning, who refuse to go on autopilot, report that time stays rich for them, even into old age. They didn't get more time. They just stopped sleeping through it. So when you ask where the year went, you're asking the wrong question. The year didn't go anywhere. It happened minute by minute, exactly as long as every year before it. The clock never sped up. You just stopped being there for it. The years feel short because we sleepwalk through them, and the only way to make them long again is almost embarrassingly simple. Wake up, pay attention, notice the life you're actually in, because the question was never where did the time go? It was where were you?